Okay, welcome to this special edition of the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling podcast. There we go. It is 4:30 in the morning here in the UK, but that doesn't matter. We are here to talk about something exciting that's happened in the world of wrestling, and that is the return of Bray Wyatt. So stick with us, whether you're here live or on demand. We're going to be talking about the return of Bray Wyatt to WWE at Extreme Rules.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.
Okay, so once again, welcome here to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. I'm Scott, joined by Rob at a very tired 4:28 in the morning here in the UK. But again, it's for good reason. We've just done this impromptu stream. I text Rob, I said, "Come on, I'm going live. You want to join me?" He said 2 seconds, and here we are. That's the dedication we have to this channel, everyone. So, Rob, first, instant reactions to, I guess, what we've most recently seen, of course, which is the return of Bray Wyatt.
Man, I had the video, I had the camera on, right? And I had it on me. I was like, I'm going to record it just in case.
Yeah, because we said we'd record instant reactions on our phones just in case. But then, yeah.
And I literally had the camera like this, right? And I'm just like, my man, what the hell? How madness? Everything about it, like a full, like if we had time to watch the video again, break it down, dissect it, I still don't think we'd have enough time to go through it. Like, just the Funhouse. Madness.
I did the same thing. I recorded myself and then I looked at the video because I was like, I should have just posted that. And it was like 5.5 minutes long. And I was like, was it really that long that happened? I mean, I might have started recording just before, I'm not sure. But my goodness, it was long. Gary Underwood with us here in a message. Hey, Scott, saw the title and I had to join. Gary, you're not the only one, I think. Yeah, my goodness, what a exciting topic to be talking about. Again, it's 4:30 in the morning here in the UK, but it is time to talk wrestling. Mate, it was cool. As Gary says there, how awesome was it? Yeah,
crazy.
I thought it was great. It's good to see him back. I will say the show, it weren't as I expected. It was good, and we'll get into this more tomorrow, I think, with a review. We'll be back here for a recap and review tomorrow, as long as me and Rob can get to sleep now at midday UK time, which is I don't know, like 3 or 4 a.m. in one of the America times and 7 a.m. in the other one, ET, PT, I forget which ones. But still, come back for the full review. But right here, we're going to give our instant reactions. But yeah, Rob, I agree, man. There was a lot to take in on that little segment. Like I said, it was like 5 minutes long, man. But
yeah,
you know what got me was like, it was just like the show, because I was like, oh, they've actually done it. The graphics come over the bottom. This is actually it. Because again, it was at we said on the build-up show, is this going to be, kind of hinted all night? They did it on the first match. I was kind of gutted that they didn't continue with that. And then I guess it was wise, really, because it was at the start and at the end. At the end, they just went full steam ahead with it. Here he is. He's back. As Riddle was leaving. And yeah, it was almost like Bray was like, I'm just coming back. I'm nothing to do. Because we were like, what matches are going to happen in? There were all these hints and stuff like that. I guess technically it was at the end of the Fight Pit match, but it was nothing to do with the Fight Pit match. It was about Bray being back, and that was it.
Yeah, and do you know what? A part of me was, I'm so glad of that, because I didn't want it to take, as we said right at the end of the stream, build-up show. I didn't want it to take away from any of the matches, because by doing that, we've had that so many times before when a return happens, you think, oh, that's a great return, but it just took away from a great moment in the match. And I'm so glad that didn't happen. And it was literally, we had the Fight Pit match. As you said, Riddle was leaving. All lights went out. And do you know what was amazing? The minute them lights went out, all you could see was fireflies. It was so good. It was so nice to see that again.
Yeah, it was so well done. I think they made like you say, like just the light. Everyone knew what it was. You know, we're saying all week. You know, it was almost too obvious. Well, not almost. It was very much so too obvious. But still, it didn't take the excitement away from it, and the fact that everyone was straight up ready for it. It was good. Yeah, so let's try and break down some of the things that we did see. And again, this instant reaction is mainly going to be now about Bray Wyatt, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you think as far as the things that we saw? So first, of course, it starts out with the characters, but in life-size costumes, which I thought was really cool to see how they kind of adapted that. And it made me think straight away. I was like, this is 2 years overdue. This is something that Bray clearly would have wanted to do a long time ago. What did you think about those, first of all?
It was so good, man. Like, I really enjoyed it. I mean, hearing he's got the whole world in his hands, which was the Swamp Bray Wyatt, when he was going through the feud with Cena. So we get that. And then, obviously, as you said, all the Firefly Funhouse characters come into life. Although it was really weird. And obviously, then we get the Fiend mask on the announce desk, and then we get the Fiend at ringside, or like by where the kind of by a corner post with it amongst the fans. And then obviously it then takes us to, would you say it was like a treehouse kind of door?
Oh, the door, yeah, because it had like algae or something stick over the top of it, which was a bit odd. But yeah, I don't know, man. As much as I like the characters, I did think the Fiend mask was too much because people thought it was the thing, but it was massive as well. It was huge, and the one on the announce table, I like the fact they jumped.
Yeah.
But like it didn't look like a severed head, did it? It was a massive mask. It was just a lump of crap, is what it looked like. That I didn't like that. I like the idea behind it, the execution, not so much. Very similar. Reminds me of, as much as I said on the build-up show, how amazing I find Bray Wyatt and how exciting he is, and we've all become excited about this, even though they've kind of messed with his kind of momentum over the years and potential. It reminds me of that terrible ending where they burnt that dummy and we had to pretend that we thought it was Bray Wyatt. Like, I didn't like that. So that's the only thing. There's still a lot of that tied up in this Bray Wyatt stuff for me. That makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. But still, I mean, you can't. I'm excited. It's for, it's again, so 25 to 5 in the morning, and I'm here talking about Bray Wyatt. Yeah. So clearly, it's still done enough to make me kind of forgive some of those little awkwardness.
Even like the characters themselves, obviously we got Huskers the pig, I'm trying to think, Mercy the buzzard, Abby the witch, Rambling Rabbit. So we got all the characters. We didn't get a Vince, like the Vince. I can't remember what the Vince character was called. Someone in the comments let me know what the Vince character was called. I can't remember what we called him. But yeah, so we got all those characters come back to life. Your mic's muted. I can't hear you.
Hello?
There we go.
I don't think we'll get anything linked to Vince anytime soon.
Not a chance.
Even though it was a character. But yeah.
I mean, but them coming to life was, as you said, something we've wanted to see for so long. And then we get it. And then we go to the Firefly Funhouse, and all of them there, the characters, are still there. And you know what's amazing? The house is just full of cobwebs and dust, and it's just abandoned.
Yeah, I really like that.
What it was so good. It's like it hasn't been touched for 2 years, which it hasn't.
That's a great point. See, I was more seeing it as this is the end of the Fiend, and it was like it's all dead. There's nothing going on. But that's a good point, actually. Like that, yeah, there'd be cobwebs. Like that's what's going on there. Not I was thinking it was something completely different, but I think you're right with that, actually.
So obviously, we get that, and then we get the telly. I didn't hear what the audio message said. I need to watch it back and kind of, because you have to see you had the fans in the background and all that sort of stuff. But when the tape or the clip plays on the TV, it looked like a VHS kind of style, and it was really old and jagged and stuff. But I want to know what was said, because obviously it was a different mask, and it looked like that was the mask that Bray, it looked like he wore when he come out and took it off. So I'm intrigued to know what that was said. I want to go back and watch that. And then
what the bit at the beginning then?
No, so when we go into the Funhouse, the camera pans around, shows everything's full of cobwebs. It's all old and abandoned. and then the TV plays like a video. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
And it
want to
zoomed
know
in
what
on
was.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to know what was said on that video because I couldn't really hear it. Obviously,
That's the thing,
TV
yeah.
was
Like you want to like all these White Rabbit clues, you want to go back, you want to rewatch them, but then it's like
Mhm.
part of me is like, is there any need? Like, is Bray's back? But then, as we were talking about on the build-up show, and thank you to everyone that joined us on that. If you missed it, go back and watch it. I know some of this is kind of we were building towards the PLE. It's over, but we still have some good talking points on there. So hopefully you enjoy that. But we were saying on that, like there are things that Bray said, did, put into promos, tweeted 2, 3, 4 years ago that he still kind of definitely works on today. And like it shows this build to him coming back has been using a lot of those things that WWE wouldn't have cared about. But you know, he's gone back going, oh, by the way, I tweeted this on August the 17th, 2019. Can we use it?
Yeah.
So I think you're probably right. Even though part of me is like, oh, what's the point in going back? I think that's a good point in there. A few more comments here from Gary. And anyone watching, please let us know what you thought of Extreme Rules as a whole and, of course, of the return. Can't believe it's been 2 years. 2 years at least to like the main stuff for the Firefly Funhouse. Because, of course, the last time we saw Bray was Mania, which was the first one back after fans, weren't it? Like, when it was like 30,000 or something like that in a 70,000 arena venue even. As soon as I saw the Rabbit on SmackDown last night, I knew it was him. And what was this last comment here? Is Alexa going back to him? Well, we talked about that a lot, didn't we, Rob? What did you think about it not involving Alexa?
I don't know. I kind of like a part of me was like, okay, like we're gonna just get focused on Bray, and then everything else will be told. Like the rest of the story of Bray and all that will be told. So yeah, like at first I thought, okay, we need to have Alexa when we were talking about it on the build up. But now we've seen it that way. I'm like, do you know what? They're just focusing on Bray, and I think the idea of just having Bray first and then everything else coming after makes so much more sense. Like it's been done in such a good way. What about you? What did you think? He's back.
Yeah, I as much as I do feel like there's a lot of loose ends with Alexa, it would have been messy to bring him back straight into it. I think the most you're going to get with Alexa now is like a passing reference where they see each other or something like that. I don't think she's going to get involved now. But then again, what is he going to do? You know, we talked about every single match on the card and either side that he could go on it. And I think the biggest conclusion that we probably could have come up with was that he doesn't fit anywhere clearly into a role at the moment. So it was more about bringing him back rather than bringing him back for a feud. So at the end, I was like, okay, it's Riddle or Rollins, which one is it? And I thought, well, Rollins, you've got the kind of unfinished business from before, that feud that wasn't handled that well at the end. And then you've got Riddle, and as I said before, you know, the risk with Riddle is that he's so beloved at the moment. But what would kind of keep him ticking over is the fact that even if the smart fans turn on him for the cool bad villain in the Fiend, he'd still have a strong fan base with the kids, sort of like, as I said on the prediction show, like Cena would have. So I started kind of accepting that this is it. He's coming after Riddle, you know?
I'm glad he did. I'm glad it was
yes, but where does he go? Like where do you think he's going, and where would you like to see him go anyway?
Do you know what? I don't want to say it's an origin story, but I don't think it's actually going to feud anyone for a little while. I think this thing is going to be, it's just going to be a build up of him appearing SmackDown, Raw. We're going to get more of the story because, well, that's what I think anyway. Because I mean, we've followed the White Rabbit. We went down the hole today. We've seen the Fiend, all the Funhouse characters, Bray reappear, but we didn't actually see a White Rabbit. So, is there more to that, or is there not? Are we going to get more characters? I mean, it's weird. I never thought I'd say this, but at the moment, I just want to see him grow as this character and find out. Obviously, we know why he's gone, but storyline, are they going to say something why he was gone? Is he coming back for a reason? Does he have a victim in mind? Is he going for Alexa first? Like, there's so much stuff, and I don't think they can tell that just over a course of him having a feud. So I think we're going to have so many segments of just, Olafana has characters now alive.
Yeah,
What
like,
do they
are
do?
we going to
Like,
see
there's
him
so
used?
many questions.
Are they going to be? Yeah, like, because who was playing them? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just.
I mean, that Huskers had a proper pot belly. So if that was, I hope that was fake, because it. Some of that one, yeah, too much beer.
Hey, mate, look, 20 to 5 in the morning. My goodness. What the life of being a British wrestling fan. This is the thing. A month ago, in Cardiff, it's like getting back to normal, kind of like, well, not normal. What should be normal? What's normal to the Americans? Watching it at a reasonable time. And now a month later already, I'm like, wait, what is it? 5 in the morning? What? Yeah. But yeah, I want to see those characters used. I know there's a lot of speculation about them being representations of others, like I mean, you go back to saying that early days with Bray, and you would have had Sister Abigail. Who's Sister Abigail? When's she being revealed? Do you know what I mean? So, and a lot of people, even with Alexa, when it first started to happen, people just took it as, well, that's who Alexa is, Quick comment here from Maurice Williams. Thank you, Triple H. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he kind of, again, I mentioned on the build-up that interview with Ariel Helwani where he was saying, like, you know what? He's basically saying, hinting that it was difficult to work with, but he's a creative genius, and we've got to harness that in the best way and get the most out of it. And I thought from that interview, that means you're open to it, and it's going to happen. If you're open to it, it's going to happen. Is the way I saw it. And I'm glad we've got there, and it is going to be interesting to see this new regime's kind of approach on Bray Wyatt, because he's only ever really been, I'm sure Triple H fiddled about with some of it, but this time Triple H is, he's the forefront. He's involved with it, So
you know what's
quick comment from Gary. Stop complaining. You still got half a pint left. I know. I'm slugging to get through it, mate. It's late. I shouldn't be drinking this late. I shouldn't be up this late.
Do you know what I think is great as well is, and also when you said, as quoted, Bray, like Wyndham as a whole is hard to work with. That's not in a sense of he's a pain in the ass. That's just he's, as you said, he's his own enemy when it comes to being creative. Like, he has an idea, then he double guesses it. And that it's just the way he was talking. He says that, like, that's not a bad thing. Like, he overjudges himself. You do the same thing every time when we do a promo or a video or something, and you're like, was that good enough?
I guess that after perfectionist kind of mentality, in it, yeah. Which you can see with Bray. I mean, he's a great mind, you can tell. But yeah, you can only imagine how that kind of can run away at times.
Especially when you're doing a character like the Fiend, and everything needs to be bang on to really hit where it is. But yeah, like working with Triple H now, I guess in this time frame, purely because of like now Vince has gone and stuff like that, it's kind of reflective of when Bray first appeared and when he was in NXT, and we had like Swamp Bray and the original Follow the Buzzards, and this is where he became Bray Wyatt and all that. So it's kind of really poetic, I guess, that Bray returns back under the run of Triple H, which is where he first became Bray. So I don't know. It's like a nice full circle, but this time we don't just get Bray. Clearly, we've got so much more. And like I said, I'm really intrigued to see what's happening. Like, is this White Rabbit thing done? Is there more QR codes? Like, is other stuff going to happen? I've got so many questions, but that whole video package itself, absolutely incredible. I love that the voice sped up, it slowed down, and then it was jittery. Like, it was just played with your mind, man. It was so well done. So, what do you think of it anyway?
Yeah, I completely agree. The only thing is that I did think it went on too long. As much as this, he's been away for ages and these promos been going on for a while, I still felt like, come on. Like the whole time you knew it was Bray. I guess that's the suspense, though. You're like, oh, it's coming. And you know what else I thought it really missed?
What's that?
Music.
Yeah, but what would you? I don't think there's any sort of thing you
We
could have done
debated
to
it
that.
earlier, didn't we? You know, we said, will it be his original theme? Would it be the Fiend theme? Would it be White Rabbit? Which I think they really missed out not using. But as we said on the prediction shows, that maybe they don't own the rights to it. They just showed it. I mean, if you've got PRS, for example, I don't know what the American equivalent is. You just play songs that are, you know, like that's you're allowed to play songs basically publicly. Like a shop would get PRS. You know, a music venue would get PRS. So maybe that's what the equivalent was, you know, that's what they were playing, and they don't own the rights to it, and people just recording it because, you know, you go to a show, they just play random songs in between anyway. Usually at sporting events, you know, like more like, you know, if you went to a football game or a hockey game or something like that, then you would hear random songs in between. But at WWE is usually more controlled. They play their own things, but still,
I know what though. I think
I've got a feeling they haven't got the rights and they're not going to use it then.
no. Like I said, I think the White Rabbit, the song White Rabbit, is what we're talking about now. I just think it's one of those things they've used it as a promo, like it's been a promotional tool, which
And it's
it
done
must have
now.
done wonders for the you know the artist. But yeah, obviously it comes hand in hand with having a White Rabbit and then using a White Rabbit and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. Like I said, I feel like the White Rabbit thing isn't done yet. There's a reason. Why would you just use a White Rabbit and then when he comes back, there's nothing? We didn't see this White Rabbit. We see
Well,
rabbit.
we saw the rabbit that was in the audience. In the audience with all the other characters, but that was the rabbit that's usually on the Firefly Funhouse. Other than that, the only White Rabbit reference was earlier in the night,
When they
which
showed
is
a
the one,
video.
in a Donnybrook match, which they played on SmackDown as well. So, yeah, was the White Rabbit just something to lead us to this, or
But
is
why
the
would it?
White Rabbit more? You know?
So a part of me, it's two. I think it's that's what I'm saying. I'm in two minds of because I feel like one way the rabbit you lead the White Rabbit down the rabbit hole. So the White Rabbit leads you down the hole, and then you get to, I guess, like we're seeing Alice in Wonderland, you get to where you got to be. But if we're just getting there, the rabbit obviously has to lead more. But yeah, like I just feel like there's a lot more to what's going on. So I don't think we're done with the White Rabbit yet. I think maybe the QR codes will be less. I think we're going to get stuff like that because if that's how
I
they're
think we're
using it to
done.
communicate,
Surely, I think we're
I
done.
don't know.
Unless there's like a whole stable to reveal,
Yeah,
I don't think there's any need for it anymore. Unless it becomes part of Bray's gimmick, you know. Gary says, I missed so much tonight, but it was my 34th, I guess, not 33rd birthday. Is that 33rd or 44th? Gary, yeah. Well, glad you've joined us at least to kind of see what's been going on and catch up with us. I don't know, man. I feel like this is it. Like, unless it's a whole stable, like where else do you go?
I don't know. There's definitely. I know they have a plan. Like I feel like obviously they 100% have a plan. And I think because of Bray, as we've said before, the way he writes things and plans things and all that, I think there's a lot more. And the fact that we've only got just a small portion of just him taking a mask off and blowing out the light, the candle sort of thing. That's it. That's where. And then there was like a butterfly thing upside down. Clearly that.
Yeah, because that's a good point. We didn't even mention that they played that on screen, but they've used stuff like that before, haven't they? That another thing to mention on the White Rabbit is linked to the Matrix, of course, Alice in Wonderland as well. There are so many things. I saw so many people saying that there was a theory going around that it's a thing that would rarely happen, especially with PLEs nowadays, sometimes being on a Saturday, but usually being on a Sunday, that the clock is 2 days behind in Alice in Wonderland, and that if you follow it, it's always 2 days late. So therefore, it won't be at Extreme Rules, and of course it was. But they could still go this way, and
it would have been
there's
Monday.
another, it'd be on Monday. But like, I just feel like that would have annoyed so many people because it's all right going. You know, like we said it before on this channel, we love the build up to it. We love the hidden codes. We love the QR codes when they've done right. We love kind of background things that were like popping up behind people and stuff like that. But like at the same time, you can't. and we love to chase and stuff like that, and kind of digging deeper. But you don't want to then annoy people and not do it tonight, and then be like, "Oh, it's on Raw." The only way they can get around it is if this does go on further, and there is more to the White Rabbit saga, and Bray is only the beginning, but he's the big deal. So, like, I don't know. Yeah,
I generally think it's going to be a case of, all right, so we've done the QR bit, the QR codes. Obviously, we scan them, and then we find and track everything and play along with their game. Now Bray is there. Now he tells a story. Like, does he send the Funhouse characters back to the Funhouse to be puppets? Are we being used?
Yeah, did we go back to Firefly Funhouse? Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
and he wasn't
so much.
He wasn't the Fiend either. If anything, he was the original Bray, which sounds like I'm saying original bro, but the original Bray come out to meet the original bro. Other than the dreadlocks, he looks the same as the old Bray. And you know what I didn't like, mate? I got to say it. For someone who has timed that blowing out of the lantern so perfectly over the years, the fact that he was a second off because he went to blow and the light went out and he hadn't quite got there it's a little bit uncomfortable. But other than that, I think the execution and the length, again, not too, and the crappy puppet. Other than that, I thought it was fantastic. But yeah,
puppet? Which one?
No, I mean like the crappy head on the announce table.
Oh, right.
Like being it's too big. Yeah. It doesn't look real. But
I don't know. Like, as an overall, but you know what? As well, we need to take it at a different value because let's face it, the last time we got this sort of production on a live-ish show was, let's say, WrestleMania was the last thing that we got of Bray. Yeah. But that was his last match against Randy.
Not in this one, though. Yeah, 36.
That was
37.
The wet one.
37.
Yeah, it was the
wet one.
It was the wet WrestleMania.
It was the wet WrestleMania.
Wetzelmania.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So obviously we got that on a live stage. Before that, we was in like a Thunderdome. So the things he done with Cena, the way he done the promos, it was pre-recorded. They had enough time to do that. So the fact that they had to do all of this live and all that stuff, it's a different format. So the way we would have been used, the way we had Bray before, it was pre-done. Yeah,
we only saw so much of the Fiend at least with a live audience because there was a year of the Fiend. The last year of the Fiend was all us saying, "Oh, what's it going to be like when they go live? What's it going to be like when they have an audience there?" So. Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's a different way of. This is another method of having to portray.
There we go. Gary's bigging us up here. Well, helping us even. Get your questions in about the Fiend. Definitely. Let us know what do you think's next for Bray Wyatt, everybody, in the comments. Whether you're watching on demand, or because you're wiser than we are and you went to bed after the event, or you're watching live with us now, which we appreciate either one of you. Let us know what you think is next for Bray Wyatt. What would you like to see Bray Wyatt do? I think what you just said there, Rob, though, is a great point. I mean, about in the sense that he doesn't really need to be going into a feud, like there's basically what what you're saying. He could literally start to explain why he's back, and he could build some sort of story away from everyone else.
We don't even need to see him wrestle.
Yeah, he could be his own thing, without everyone else. Yeah, so that's an interesting point, and I'm glad about that because it was bigger than the show tonight. It was the thing everyone was looking forward to. As much as I said, the show was a stacked card, and again, I realize we've said here this is an instant reaction to Extreme Rules, but let's be fair, it's an instant reaction to the return of Bray Wyatt, and we'll get into more of the matches and stuff like that tomorrow, but or today, depending on how you read today. Time. To me, the day doesn't end till you go to sleep, though. So I could go to sleep for an hour, and that'd be tomorrow. But
if you have a nap during a day, you haven't skipped ahead a day.
I can't nap, so that's why it doesn't.
work you're one of those weirdos.
I wish I could, but I'm not 70. But yeah, See, I'm losing my mind now. I'm that tired. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens now. It's interesting now because we do have that break. As I said, it's Saturday. We've got 2 days now until Raw. I mean, surely he's going to be on Raw rather than SmackDown, even though he's been kind of hinted on both shows. I mean, do you know where it end up? Like, do you have any guesses where it end up, or we prefer him to see? Gary doesn't nap either. That's good to know.
I just think I really do think we're just gonna get great stories with Bray. It's literally gonna be a build. I think we're gonna get stories that build. So let's say, for example, at this moment, obviously Randy's out, so we can't use Randy. So the next best thing obviously would be talking about Alexa. I don't think that's gonna happen yet. I think we're gonna get this whole world of Bray telling these stories, why the Funhouse is left alone, how they came to be as live instead of puppets. All this is going to happen. I literally think we're going to get like an origin story on Raw and SmackDown, just continuously going, and then all of a sudden we're going to get a feud. It's going to lead to a feud.
Well, I think that probably is the best way to do it. And like, because it'd be forced otherwise, and you want it to naturally lead into something like you say. I don't think I can't see him. There's no one obvious for him to face, and like you said, like, are they going to acknowledge him being let go? Like, what kind of character is he? You know, like, again, he wasn't wearing his Fiend outfit, and if anything, he looked like the old school Bray. But he did have a mask on
as well.
What's that mask? Is that mask being used?
That mask looked like the person that was talking on the telly in the
right, yeah, you said, yeah.
So, but then again, that's only going on a first time watch. Obviously, when you watch something, it's weird when you watch things like Bray, or if you watch a horror film. The first time you watch what's going on, the second time you watch her background, and then when you watch again, you kind of look for the other stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
And that, do you know what I mean? So you need to watch that a good few times. I think with the craziness of, I guess, let's say, Wyndham's brain, no matter how many times you watch it, you're going to miss out on so much that's so important. But yeah, on a first watch, that's kind of the way I've read it anyway.
What did you think of the mask? If that is his mask going forward, do you want that part of his character? Because it was it's one of those kind of really expression looking. I mean, just from the quick memory of what I remember seeing now, it reminded me of like drama class of Commedia dell'arte masks. You know, like those kind of really over the top drama masks, rather than.
I think that character, or at least that mask, has like a jigsaw feel to it. Like, it's a talking. There's something behind that. Like, you would just randomly have a mask to put it in for some reason. You do something else. Like, do you know what I mean? There's a reason that mask was used, and it was on the telly, or at least on the telly. And then there's a reason why the other mask that he was wearing, if that's the same one, there's a reason. He wouldn't just have it for no reason.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of though, because it doesn't feel like it's going to be his main. It just doesn't feel like it fits. Like, it, I don't know, marketable. I'm not sure, but it feels like when Kane came back and he wore 2 masks. When he had the welder's mask, on top of the red mask, that's what it kind of feels like to me. Quick comment here from Gary: both brands, Wyatt versus Roman, loses to the Fiend. Calling it now, guys. Yeah, I mean, it'd be crazy if this Roman Reigns thing comes to an end for someone who was at the top of the company in some ways, up there with him at the start of his reign, got let go and come back, and then defeated him. You know, like that would be.
Do you know what else as well? So Roman obviously appeared in the match between Bray and Braun, and Roman pinned Braun. Bray technically didn't get pinned by Roman to lose the Universal Championship. And when they put this list of people that Roman's beaten online a couple months back, Bray, as Wyndham Twitter then, said, "Take my name off that list." And he lists that's literally what he tweeted back. Yeah. So technically, if they go down this road, which I don't think they need to yet, But if they go down this road, he's regaining something that technically he didn't lose. If you know what I mean.
Mm.
So I don't know. It's good, man. I like when you can have something and you've got so many questions, and it's not like, oh, why didn't they do that? Why? And it's more of, well, what's next? Like, people are hungry for it. That's, like you've got something. Like, you're printing money.
Yeah. Like I say, as much as there were a few things about it, I thought, maybe it's a bit long, maybe it's too obvious. It was going to be maybe some of the things looked a bit hokey. A lot of the things looked cool. It was a thing we were all excited about. Like, it instantly made us jump on the stream, and like I keep going on about it, but it's 5 a.m. now to us. Like it's there's enough there to be excited about to kind of make us do that. So and this is what you want. You want a buzz, and they were building buzz. I'm talking about WWE now. They were building buzz anyway, and now that they've got Bray back, I mean, that would have been a great acquisition for anyone. So the fact that they've got him back,
and don't forget, Braun's just come back.
Braun's just come back as well. I already feel like Braun might get lost in the shuffle. Speaking about people coming back, I found it really weird, and we'll talk about this in a review tomorrow. So definitely stick around, subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to do a full recap and review of Extreme Rules tomorrow as well. One thing quickly I want to mention is that Michael Cole talk about the history of a lot of the match types was really cool. We'll get into that a bit more tomorrow. But also, in doing that, he mentioned Bayley as facing Sasha Banks, and then he also mentioned Sasha Banks another time, but by name. When Bayley's one, it was like talking about all her firsts, and the Iron Woman match, he didn't need to say Sasha's name, and I was like, Sasha's coming back. Sasha's name is coming back. I was literally thinking that was going to happen, and I find that really weird. But then I think, is that because like that seems like a Triple H thing to talk about the history and stuff like that? Because they also mentioned Nia Jax, and I wasn't exactly thinking Nia was going to pop on up on this show, but it just shows you that all of a sudden these names that were kind of probably more likely to go elsewhere or be done with a business, all of a sudden they're way more likely to pop up here again, and that is
they are creating a big buzz.
For,
not just Bray, but obviously other names. I'll tell you one thing that was really weird. Obviously, we won't swear on a live stream. However, there was a bit of foul language that was okayed. Do you know what I mean?
What? Where? I don't remember that.
It was Michael Cole said it.
What did he? What did he say?
Yeah.
Give me the letter it starts with.
PI double snakes.
Did he?
Yeah. About 4 or 5 times. It was literally.
Michael Cole was on fire as well. I got to say, Michael Cole on this show, the stuff with Dominic Mysterio, and again, we'll get into this more tomorrow and deeper. But
I'm angry. Don't get me started on that.
All right. With that being said, that give you a nice little taster for tomorrow. Speaking of taster for tomorrow, Gary says he's got to be up in a few hours. He's going to a carvery, but he's enjoying the convo. Gary, we're enjoying it too. We've enjoyed having you, but I'm a bit annoyed now because I can't stop thinking about a roast dinner. Right now, what we're gonna do? We're gonna head off now. It's been great. We've been here for 38 minutes, nearly 40 minutes. It makes me laugh, Rob, man. The amount of times after PLEs and I'm on my way to bed, I have to listen usually to a podcast to fall asleep and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I put on a podcast live. Yeah, of course. Usually put on like some wrestling podcast live from the States, instant reaction sort of thing. And they're always moaning, like going, the show finished late. It's 11:30 on the East Coast or wherever they are. I don't know. And they say stuff like that. And I'm just like, what are you talking? That's when we start working for RO Pro Wrestling. Do you know what I mean? Like we started our build-up show at 11:30. Hey, but when you live in a different lifestyle, but reverse to that, mate. The Americans, when they get up and watch the Premier League at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, go down the pub to watch it. Fair play. I understand that's not easy.
It's the Premier League, isn't it?
Huh?
It is the Premier League, so you have to.
Best league in the world, right? Anyway, with that being said, Rob, thanks for joining me on this mad adventure. That continues to grow, of course, Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling, and this strange stream that we've done. Instant reaction here. Again, apologies if we've been tired, wacky, quiet, loud. I don't know what we've been. It's hard to tell because we're not quite with it. But yeah, it is 5:05 in the AM for us here in the UK. And we really do appreciate wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is for you to be joining us, whether it is live or on demand. We thank you. It was a great show tonight. I am very, very, very much looking forward to reviewing it properly with you tomorrow, Rob. Even though it means we've got 7 hours, just under 7 hours before we go live. So,
right. Thanks for reminding me.
Let's.
That means I get about 6 hours sleep, and then I've got to work at night.
Let's get to bed then, Rob. All right. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, mate, and I'll see you tomorrow.
In a bit.
Cheers.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.